This next example, they want us to, let's see, find R and A1, which means the first term, and the common ratio, the thing we're multiplying by to get the next term. And they give us the third term and the eighth term. So the question is, how are they getting from what they gave us, the third term, and all the way down to the eighth term that they also gave us. So here's the third term, and here's the eighth term all the way at the bottom. So what are they missing in the middle? They're missing a sub 4, a sub 5, a sub 6, and a sub 7, and they don't tell us what they are, so how did they get from one to the next? Well, if you think about what you're doing, to get from a to the third to the a to the eighth, what you're actually doing is you would be multiplying by your r once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then 5 times to actually get all the way from your third term all the way down to your eighth term. So let's translate that into an equation. So if you take your first term, your a sub 3, which was 5, you start out there, and multiply by your common ratio r, we're multiplying by that r 5 times. That's an r to the 5th power. Then that should equal whatever we get at the end of our list, which is where you went down to the 8th term, which is 1 over 625. Well, if you were to take this and solve this like a normal equation, well, the first thing you do is say, well, I need to divide both sides by 5. Well, dividing a fraction by 5 actually is going to make it even smaller, so this would give you r to the 5th equals 1 over. So what that will do is actually divide by another 5, which actually means that the 625 and the other 5 will both be on the bottom, because remember, dividing by something is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So what you'd actually have is 1 over 625 times 1/5, its reciprocal, which gives us 1 over 3,125. So what is this now asking if we're trying to find out what r equals? You're asking what, when raised to the 5th power, will give us 1 over 3125. Well, first of all, I would want to figure out what, let's see, do I need to raise to what to get 3125? And again, what is going to get raised to the 5th? So you might want to take the 5th root of 3125. Well, the 5th root of 3125 is 5. That doesn't mean that r is 5. It actually means that r is 1/5. Because notice the 3125 is over 1. So what we're actually going to have to raise to the 5th to get 1 over 3125 is 1/5. So our r, we just found out, the thing that we're multiplying by each time is 1/5. So if we wanted to find out what the first term is, we've got the third term. We said that the third term was 5. Then we would actually do the reverse of what the common ratio does. Instead of multiplying by 1/5, what's the reverse of 1/5? It'd be multiplying by a 5. So if we multiply by 5 once, that will get us the second term, which is 25. Multiplying by 5 again, going in reverse one more time, will give us 125. So that's what they asked for. We got our r first. Our r was 1/5. And then we got our first term working backwards, which was 125. Continuing along, we have another formula that's pretty